Yep. One artwork turns into another artwork, gets moved from one city to another, one country to another. 1 minute I think you're having a mihi for the Prime Minister of Greece, and the next thing you know it's the President. It's ongoing, this one, brother. It's ongoing.
Oh, Tūmataroa.
What's that?
To be a relation of films. There's a prata. Tūmeri is a prata. Oh, Tuahiwi.
Yeah. LT Wirita, and he was 22 years of age when he died out here. The fact that he is here and that we're here and we've brought our ancestors here, there's definitely a much stronger connection to bringing our ancestors to Athens than had quite realised maybe earlier this morning, to find somebody from Tuahiwi as we bring ancestors from Tuahiwi also to the city of Athens. It deepens our purpose for being here, and it's poetic as well. Yeah. I don't really believe in coincidence. My practice engages in things leading to other things through, in this case, tikanga. And meaning comes from that. But it can't be denied after 2 or 3 years now that with this project, it just keeps feeding into, it just keeps deepening itself. It's really, the project has really put its roots down back home and now here as well. So how that comes about is something I'm not so sure. It's my responsibility to talk about. Yeah, I don't know how.
Raise the anchor, unfurl the sail, set sail for an ever-setting sun. Great title. He talks about it as the shortest film ever made. And it is a film still, and it's a found object. It was from 1905 of Lord and Lady Plunket in their motor car, arriving at Tuahiwi Reserve, flanked by Ngā Tahu elders in full ceremonial regalia. It was one of those images that the more he looked at, the more he considered it to be the basis of a work.
You know, there's a kind of glamour to it, which is important to its basic effect. You know, his sense of style has this an affection for American culture, and so for that work he talks about Western movies, for example, particularly The Magnificent Seven, and then the mechanism of selecting the old image, sharpening it up and presenting it is, for me, much closer to a musical gesture, like finding the right beat and sampling it correctly. The newspaper photograph is the dusty old record, and he's done his crate digging and he's found the good bit. You know, this is the way to bring it back and to help them look good. You know, make sure they're on point for the presentation.
It's actually, I think, a very complex conceptual work that is disarmingly and surprisingly simplistic in its form. And they're the works that often have greatest resonance over time.
My input or my engagement with art making is just really very simple. Very, very simple engagement. So I'm working to present something on its own terms as much as possible, and with as little flair from me as needed, because it doesn't need anything else. It exists on its own terms as quality work. I'm not pushing or constructing anything here. I'm simply picking up the responsibilities on how these guys are presented in the world, and that the appropriate tikanga is followed to enable that, to facilitate that. Here we are in the 21st century now, and we're able to produce representations of our tupuna in significantly new ways, but to be able to move them easily around the world is very different to the tradition of them being in the wharenui within the takiwā, or on the marae and within the takiwā of the people who descend from them. So how do you move them all of a sudden around the world? There's no precedent for that, and that's been the challenge and the responsibility along in the work. Yeah.
It is my great pleasure, indeed, and honor to welcome you to the inauguration of Documenta 14 in Athens.
Documenta is the avant-garde event internationally. It's the one. You know, from Christchurch, New Zealand, you don't really think about getting your work to Documenta, but here we are. Hendrik Fulks saw the work on the forecourt of Auckland Art Gallery, and he simply said, "Nathan, write to me. I'm interested in what you're doing. This will happen."
Basically, what Documenta proposes is a methodology of displacement. And I think Nathan's work, by always turning around images, looking at them in different ways, or sort of displacing them in time as well, as he has done here, makes him unique, I think, makes his work unique to what Documenta 14 is proposing, not as a theme, but as a direction, as you say, as a working methodology. The image that he shows here, in the lobby of the National Museum of Contemporary Art here in Athens, is an incredibly ambiguous historical image that is loaded with meanings, that sort of branch out into a history of colonialism, a history of the Maori people as well. And I think Nathan's work here, but in general, has the quality of actually making such ambiguity quite explicit without making it too obvious, if that makes sense. So that you always are left with certain questions and you want to go deeper and deeper and deeper. I think that is the quality of his work, actually.
It's important for us to be here because the image of our ancestors is not just an image. I'm born from Mother Earth, and in my time I will return to Mother Earth and the cycle will start again. Although my ancestors might be departed from this world, they are still part of that continuous system. They still are alive to me. They're not just things on a picture.
It's a living image of our ancestors, a living image of our tupuna. In that image, to me, they are still there. So therefore, wherever they travel around the world or throughout New Zealand, we have to acknowledge them and look after them because their mauri, their wairua are still with us. And to Nathan, I think that's what he's started to understand, is that it's more than a picture.
it's so important that we have this ceremony for the work. I believe this deeply. It's part of our tikanga, part of our way of doing things. And I just thank my cousin Pua Media and Ian so much for coming all this way to perform this sacred ceremony. Not really just for me, it's for our ancestors who are present with us. It's so important for us to have a link to places and for these moments to happen so that we are here correctly and with mana and with strength. Yeah, being here is a huge privilege. Values that I think I have always applied in my life anyway are being presented and expanded upon so that my understanding of them is clearer. This is how I work as an artist. This is my continuing practice as an artist. It's excavating information and seeing what comes out of that. So in terms of this project and where it goes from here, it's not so much where this goes from here, but what this has led me to and what that might be.
He mea tau toko nā te manga.
Tahu.